I think Andrea and Alexis have touched upon that, but within your capacity, you need to first understand what you like. And if you don't know what you like, there's only one way to do. Put yourself out there and actually experience that thing.
Try new things.
Try new things. Yeah, so that's what I did in university, because I honestly don't know what I like, what makes me happy and everything. Of course, sports was something that I really like, but that was not the only thing that I can see myself doing.
This is Andrian.
And this is Ray. Welcome to the Talk Live podcast.
Every 2 weeks, we'll invite a new guest and
in every session, we'll dig into their life, relationships, and perspectives.
one question at a time.
Let's talk la.
Yay.
No need to welcome Talk Live podcast.
Hello, this is Andrian.
Hello, everyone. This is Ray.
He's so not energetic. Hi, let me introduce myself again. I'm Andrian. This is Ray. And today we are so lucky to be invited by HKUST, because we are the past alumni from HKUST, to talk about a bit about university life. And let's have a brief introduction of who we are. So maybe give you a bit more context, right, Ray?
So I start with my introduction first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. So hope everyone is having a good day. I think it's pretty sunny depending on where you are. In UST, it's a bit cloudy, but very sunny on some parts. Yeah, so I think today, I know that all of you are coming from different places, from different backgrounds, but most of you are hopefully prospective students. And in this session, we really want to, obviously you've seen the title that we are more focused on diversity in HKUST, right? So I think this is like the main pillar of what we're going to focus our talk on. So hopefully it gives some perspective on, because today we know that you're bombarded with so many different kinds of academic,
how to get into UST,
how to apply. So this is more like a fun, a chill session, right? It's a very coffee chat, even though we don't have coffee, but cheers, we have water. Yeah. Back to the introduction, right? So you can tell from my accent, right? I'm actually not from Hong Kong, but I've been in Hong Kong for, I think, 8 years now. For half of it is in HKUST. So I think all of us here today will be from HKUST. So my name is Ray. I am not a student anymore, so I am an alumni. I studied global business, BBA, in global business and information systems. I did a minor in entrepreneurship, and currently where I am today in work life, adulting is hard, by the way, hashtag. I work in a technology company called Microsoft. So I cover public sector accounts, which is 政府客啦, and UST is one of them. So coming full back circle into UST, it's good to be here. Yeah. What about you, Andrian?
So I'm Andrian, and I'm actually in property right now, and I'm also studied in GBUS and IS, BBA in Global Business and Information System, which we in the briefing session we talked about is, if you have any tips regarding GBUS, you can ask us, and we'll probably answer you in the Q&A session. And we're both in the class of 2017, so we graduated around 4 years,
5 years ago,
5 years ago, which makes us uncle, yeah.
No.
Yeah, so we are both alumni of HKUST, and again, we're happy to be invited to be on this recruitment, because today, this morning or this afternoon, you probably have a lot of academic stuff.
Yeah.
But so jumping in is, why are we invited and how we are connected to today's schedule, basically. How are we connected, right?
Yeah, so maybe I think we slow down our pace, since it's like, we'll just take it more chill and easy. So I think, today we're wearing two hats actually. Yeah, so I think on the side, obviously we have both full-time jobs, but being an alumni of UST or going through UST, I think we're all very curious to try new things. Don't follow the norms. And I think Andrea and I, we started this platform called Talkla Podcast. So the whole idea is like Humans of HKUST or Humans of New York, if you heard of it. If you've not heard of it, maybe later I'll drop a link on the chat and you guys can see. Basically, it's telling people's story via photos. But photos to us is not so engaging, but obviously different people have different ways to engage content. So we decided, since both of us really like talking, we really like to meet new people, and why don't we start this Talkla podcast platform where we can invite guests from, UST. A lot of our guests are actually from UST alumni or existing UST students or UST staff. professors even.
We actually interviewed Professor Tekun, which is the head of global business program as of today.
Yeah. So I mean, just going back to the idea is like, yeah, we hope to bring out individual stories and perspective to young adults or even teenagers. Yeah. So that hopefully today, yeah, I think later we will actually talk more from, you know, diversity side, on academic, on the different things. And then we also have a very special guest later. Yeah.
Later on. So jump right back to it. So how we are connected in UST. Basically today, the whole session, we're going to talk about us. And then afterwards, we have a special guest joining us in the halftime session, which is around 3:15. And I know some of you are late joined. I'm Ray again, and this is I'm Andrian. This is Ray.
Wow,
Okay.
Ray becomes so good looking. Wow.
Yeah, thank you. So we have like a sort of cheat sheet right in front of us. So how we're connected is we are basically from the same major, as well as we are from the same school, and we are the same class of 2017. So we basically bonded, and that's how like we met each other in USC, and we built the bond ever since. So we have known each other for like the past 8 years, and it's still going strong.
Very strong.
Yeah, and we started this podcast and back in January 2021 because of COVID. COVID restricted a lot of people, a lot of movement, and we think that we have a lot to share, and we want to ask a lot of people to share their point of view, their mindset, and everyone has a story to tell. We basically believe, and that's why we're here today. And today we are invited to talk about our past UST experience, our learning, our growing up, the whole process for the past 8 years, what we've learned, how it might impact you on choosing UST or not choosing UST, basically.
Yeah. So I think long story short, like we hope to spend, you know, about 10 minutes. Yeah, the next 10 minutes, we're going to talk about, you know, how our experience from UST have shaped us at work, and also just going down to memory lane. What was some of our highlights, and what do we really enjoy, and what those experiences are, and how it has shaped us to where we are today. So yeah, we're just going to share some quick points on how the experiences were great. Yeah. So Andrian, you can kick things off with some of your favorite experiences or professors or relationships that you had in UST.
I think the most important thing is I think it's friendship. Friendship is definitely a big part of it. And I know we need to slow down a bit. I think student ambassador, because we're both student ambassadors in HKUST, and I think that was one of the most memorable thing that I've experienced. Because some of you, if you're listening, you might have student ambassador from HKUST or from your secondary school that got into HKUST and came back and visit and told you about their own experience. We both are student ambassadors back then, so we actually had quite a good experience. And I really recommend you, if you got into HKUST and if you like talking to people, definitely join the student ambassador team. And why is it the most important and the most memorable experience for my whole USC life is when I went on exchange. I went on exchange to Germany, which is also the same university as Ray.
I basically copy Andrian because he was like a role model friend. Yeah, very good at academic. Yeah, you find a lot of this kind of people in USC. So yeah, continue.
And then what I remembered was when I was in Germany, I actually suddenly got a WhatsApp from the recruitment office saying that, Andrian, are you free for the next from this date to that date? I was like, probably. What's going on? Then I still remember it was Jackie, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it was Jackie asking me, and Carl asked me.
Yeah, it was Carl. Yeah,
Carl asking me, "Oh, are you free? Because we want to invite you to go to the UK, from Germany to the UK cross country for a roadshow to do certain ambassador items. For example, going to different sixth form colleges to recruit them, to find like Hong Kong or even overseas students to come back to HKUST because of their diversified profile, and we think that they would be a great fit into HKUST." And I did. I went to the UK for 2 weeks, all expenses on the USC team, even though now it's locking down, but hopefully it will be opening the border soon. But I went on went to the UK, all expenses included on the USC team.
Mhm.
And it was the most memorable experience because we traveled across the UK. We went to Manchester, we went to London, we went to like the south side of like the UK as well, and Birmingham, all over the UK to
Wow.
recruit different people.
It's
And
like a world tour, right?
It's a world tour.
Like world UK tour.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
If it's not for USC, I wouldn't have experienced that. And I think that was like eye-opening for me. So that's one of my experience. So how about you, Ray?
Yeah, obviously, I had my fair share of travel as a student ambassador, but obviously not to Europe. I was like covering Southeast Asia. So Singapore, Malaysia, even Shanghai sometimes. So I was in Shanghai for less than 24 hours because back then as a USC student, I was pretty focused on academics. So even I had the opportunity to go to Shanghai. I didn't stay over, even though like I could, stay a couple of days in the hotel and explore Shanghai, but I didn't. But anyway, yeah, because I wanted to work on projects. Now when I think back, it's like, okay, that's probably not the most important, which I think we can touch more about that part of academic versus trying new things. So I think, Andrew, since you asked, right, what are some of my favorite experiences? I think there's a lot of favorite moments, but if I had to pick I can't pick one because the 4 years of university actually happened quite fast, semester after semester. But I think the things or the activities that have shaped me, for example, in the freshman year, I actually not live. I want to talk about Dragon Boat first. Yeah, I actually, as an international student, I really want to connect to the local students at a personal level. And I thought Dragon Boat was one of the very good way to do it. And boy, it was a very, very tough sport. I know now I look a bit sporty and everything, but back then I was, less sporty, but even though sporty enough to be, joining the Dragon Boat team in UST. So that was really an achievement that I felt that, oh, wow, I can do it. And I think in return, I learned a lot of the local slangs, whether the good things, the bad things. I've learned everything. And I think that helped me connect with different students at a local level. And back then, I think UST Dragon Boat team is actually one of the highly regarded sports team too. So I think I take some pride being able to join to UST Dragon Boat team. But it's not just sports and everything. I also try my best to, within my capacity, to try different clubs, different societies, try out different courses. Yeah. So in terms of the clubs and society, I think student ambassador was one, but I won't talk too much about that since Andrew covered very juicy traveling stuff. Yeah. I think joining as a business cohort community, being part of that also really was very helpful. Case competitions. So really, like, I'm honestly not the most academic person, even though now I sound like I do, but actually no, I'm just someone that likes to talk. Yeah. So basically, just putting yourself to try a lot of different activities. And I think what really changed my whole or made my university even better is living on campus. I think if you're a local student, international student, I think we are guaranteed at least 2 years, at least back then. I'm not sure the latest policy. But living on campus is really, how should I say? I think it's fortunate that I could live in uni for 4 years straight in one of the best halls, Hall 8. Of course, any hall in USC is already good because I know it's very competitive to get a hall.
And if you want to take a look at our hall, you can probably join the virtual tour.
All right.
You can check out all the halls. And what is it very interesting about hall life?
It's just more convenient. No, but I mean, like hall life, I think the good thing about USC is like, of course, we're known for so much academic stuff, right? But actually, when you go to a hall, right, different halls have different societies.
Yeah.
It's an association itself.
Going to hall is basically one of the 5 things that you need to do.
Yeah, one of the 5.
To uni, right?
Yeah.
So I remember the 5 things is Seongjong, right? Being the expo, going to hall.
Okay. Bao
say and what going to the relationship.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah.
I forgot.
But
internship?
Oh yeah.
Really internship?
Okay. I guess.
Really, I hope that.
Yeah.
But yeah, hall.
Yeah. Anyways, touching on hall and why it was so meaningful, right? Because number one, it's just convenient to go to classes. That's good. And number 2 is like I think you're just surrounded by a lot of local people, international people that, you live together. And that's really, what university should be. You should be in a place that is convenient for you to connect with other people. And that's how much I like Hall is like, okay, to the point that I became a residential life mentor.
And you also got into the culture of the hall. You also got into the culture of HKUST. Or even though if you might be considering a few university, hall life is an important aspect, right?
Yeah, whatever university that you choose, but I can attest like, okay, of course, academics are important, but living in hall will make you feel less stressed because I think you're closer to the ocean. You breathe like the city air and all that. I mean, not city air. I mean, Sai-Kung air, Clearwater Bay air. Yeah, and you're just very close to all the facilities, and it's just easy to meet around and connect with your group projects and all that good stuff.
And I think like being in hall, joining a student ambassador program, all are good, but what if you actually started your own organization back in USC? How is it like? So we've invited a guest, Alexis, to join us because I think for the past 15 minutes, you might be a bit bored about listening to us.
No, I think they will be bored. I mean, you can, feel free to type on the comments because I have a PC here. Yeah, so I can actually make it more interactive for you guys. But yeah, you might be wondering like, how come both of us are sitting so close to each other? Of course, we really, really like each other. We know each other for 8 years, but why is there an empty spot? And that empty spot is actually a very big spot to fill. And we have Alexis today. And why we or why HKUST and Talk Loud podcast really want to get Alexis on is she has a very, very interesting experience. And what we mean by interesting, we let Alexis to talk about her experience, who she is, and how is she affiliated with HKUST. Yeah.
Thank you, Ray. Hi, everyone. So I'm Alexis. It's very great to be back. I'm so excited. I am actually a recent graduate. I graduated last year from the School of Humanities and Social Science. And I now work at a museum in the curatorial team. So thank you again for having me. And it's great to be with Gray and Andrian. So maybe I'll start by sharing some of my personal journey when I was in university. Because of this topic of diversity and inclusion, one of the very relevant thing I did in university was starting Rainbow Bird. So Rainbow Bird is a LGBT student group, also very inclusive for everyone in the university, including staff and other friends that would like to join. In the beginning, we were thinking, if there is no LGBT group in the university, why don't we start one? So actually the school staff connected me and 2 other founders together to start Rainbow Bird. Let me give you some interesting facts about Rainbow Bird is that the sundial at the front gates of the UST entrance, we call it Red Bird.
Phó Gai. That's where my Cantonese comes in. Phó Gai.
English. But we were thinking, why don't we add a bit of colors in there and call it Rainbow Bird? So this is how we started Rainbow Bird. We started in 2018, and we do all kinds of fun activities as well as advocacy. Some major events we did in the past years include an art exhibition. We did installation and we let people participate by expressing themselves and also letting people to really know more information of the LGBT community. We also did fun stuff like getting together, a trivial night or just having pizza. But we also go to pride parades together as a student team. So that's another activities that bring us out to the society. So yeah, that's my main journey on the LGBT part when I was in university. And if anyone are interested or you have any questions, feel free to comment below.
Yeah,
or you can go to the IG, right?
Yes.
You guys have an IG.
Yeah, we do. IG and Instagram.
What is the IG?
Rainbow.
It's called Rainbow Bird.
Okay.
You will see it.
At Rainbow Bird, right?
Yes.
Do you need Rainbow Bird USC? No, just at Rainbow Bird.
I think once you search Rainbow Bird, you can see us.
Yeah, and our is at Talk Loud Podcast or And my handle is at Andrian Chu, ANDRIN and this is you can also follow Ray at what Malai J.
No, it's fine. I think we just use Talk Loud podcast.
All right, sure. You'll find us
Talk
there
Loud and
anyways.
Rainbow Bird.
But I think it was very inspiring on how Alexis started her basically organizational group, I would say, from UST, like having the conceptualizing the idea, doing the whole LGBTQ community to organize one in the HKUST community is very inspiring because you have some idea that you want to achieve, you want to create a voice basically, and then you did it through the HKUST platform.
Yeah, I think thank you, Adrian, for bringing this point. Is that in university you actually get a lot of opportunity to start what you envision of, and of course, being in UST, Rainbow Bird actually got support from the One HKUST Student Life Award, so that actually gave us a lot of resource to how we can start, and also what opportunity and days we can recruit more people. So I think if you have the chance to come into UST, that will be some opportunity that you might look forward to.
Yeah, I think we're always learning. Yeah, and I think if you think that a particular university have not catered to your needs, then you think twice about UST or HKUST, right? It's because, like, from Alexis sharing, right, you can hear that, okay, there's already so many different student clubs and organization. Like for me, I'm pretty like mainstream, right? So I think Dragon Boat or Hall Life, I think that's fulfilling enough. But if there's something that really you feel like you're very passionate during secondary school, or even in secondary school, you feel like there's something missing in secondary school, and even in uni, you feel, oh, there's a gap. Yeah, USC might be a good place for you to come and explore and see how you can take that idea or gather people, like-minded people. So university, another thing is like you gather like-minded people, and sometimes you may not, like from Alexis sharing, like she didn't know who else was like that, but she went via the USC platform to connect to different individuals. And I think right now you guys are still very good friends and still connected, and then you guys are going through adulting together, right? So that's very, very good.
If we are actually jumping into secondary school, I think a lot of you listening are probably from secondary school, hopefully. I remember when I was in secondary school, I was still very confused. I was very confused of who I am, where I was, what I want to be. But I think UST, because UST is basically a huge community. You have a lot of people from various of backgrounds, with various of hobbies and interests. You basically is a place for you to find yourself, to figure out who you are. And some of you might not even know what you want to study right now. You might be interested in business school, engineering, or like humanities, or or science. But back then, I was confused as well. So I think USC.
I think we're all confused, right? I mean, going through university, we kind of just pick. And I think Andrew touched a very good point. Like, you need to know roughly which study area. Like, for example, business, engineering. You cannot be like, I go in business, but I actually want to be an engineer. Then that's gonna be quite different. High level, you need to know whether you want to do science, engineering, business, but what exactly in those fields. That's where the magic happens in university, based on the different courses that you do. And which leads to the point, right? You mentioned there's so many different people, right? Because now it's interactive. I think we have a question from the audience saying like, okay, how common is it to find a Korean student? So I think now's a good time for me, because being an international student ambassador, I'm quite familiar with the breakdown of the different student demographic, right? So majority of students, guess where is it from? Of course, local, Hong Kong, right? That's a trick question. Yeah. So I think 15 to 20%, which is actually 1/5 of the university population are international. And the breakdown would be a lot of them actually are from Korea. Yeah, from my experience and my encounters, Korea plays a big part. I think that's 100 a year, that kind. And then of course China is a big part. India is also a big part. Indonesia, surprisingly, is also quite a big part. Malaysia, somehow it's like, we consistently have around 10 plus students a year. From Malaysia. And then like all scattered around the rest of Asia. And also sometimes from Europe, from America. But the good thing about that, if you really, really want an international encounter, every semester, I mean, this is pre-COVID time, but I think things are getting better. You can foresee that things will become back to normal.
Yeah.
That every semester
You can go on exchange.
yeah, go on
basically.
exchange is one, but exchange students will be flooding
Yeah,
into
will come into as
HKUST.
well, yeah.
So that's also a good time to connect with people. And then if you live in hall, they will live on hall. You connect with them, you know their culture. And then who knows? Because from my experience, I went to exchange in Germany, but I actually met up with my exchange friend that I met through UST. And we met up and I stayed at his house, couch surf for like a couple of nights. Yeah. So I think it comes full circle. You never know based on the people that you meet in university, the professors that you connect with. Yeah. So that was like a long answer to, how many Koreans are there? Yeah, but you get the point. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is also like a Korean society
Yeah.
in USD as well. So you can basically connect with your own homegrown crowd. But I would also encourage you to also have like local friends of various friends from various backgrounds, because it would definitely give you a more holistic view on the world or on people. And definitely your project mates will be all over the world, like definitely not just from Hong Kong or whatever, which place.
Yeah, and if you go into lectures, you do see all kinds of people from everywhere. So outside of lecture, if you join sports club or other clubs, you get to meet new people as well. So I think that really gives you a new perspective into university.
Yeah, I think three of us now we can attest that, okay, don't be someone that, a fish, like from an international perspective, like I think most majority of you guys are from Hong Kong, but if there are international students on the line, don't be a fish tank traveling in the fish tank. Like you basically, a fish tank meaning like, okay, those are the same group of people, same country, same thoughts and everything. And then when you come to Hong Kong, HKUST, you mix around with, like, in my case, Malaysians. So that's not gonna really broaden your horizon. Not to say like it's you don't want to mix with them, because it's important. You're in a foreign place. You need to have some sort of some sort of a sense of belonging with that group of friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very important to explore outside, and you'll be surprised with the people that you meet. And look at Andrian, like he met Ray. I think I value add to his life, no? And then like, yeah.
I met you guys after uni, but still because of UST.
He basically just forced his way into
Okay.
forced his way into making enriching my life. But I think which leads to my next point. I'm not sure when we need to end, but if we end abruptly, I'm really sorry.
Feel free to
Yeah.
stay on however long you want. Yeah, we're gonna go on for hours and hours. But yeah, just joking. We're just following the time.
Yeah. And then what I want to like debunk, because a lot of people maybe from Hong Kong or from overseas, they've heard that USC might be quite tough in terms of academics. But what we really want to point out today is, or from our perspective, is academic in all university is probably important, but it's definitely not a deal breaker. Why we have that idea? Anyone want to?
I think
on?
before we lead on,
Yeah.
so I see where Andrew is going. Yeah, so I think now's the part where we really want to share from the three of us how to actually from a student perspective entering to a university, secondary school to university. We want to share and give some tips on and some learnings, how to shape the right mindset. I mean, there's no right or wrong, but just sharing some of the myths, debunking them, and also share and highlight some of the learnings or takeaways that have helped us, ensure that our university life was a fulfilling one. Yeah.
So speaking of which, maybe I'll share a bit of my mindset going to university. I think in the beginning, I have heard of the reputation of being very chill and intense in university. I do think academic is important. I had a lot of fun studying. Maybe I'm a bit of a nerd, but I do enjoy classes and learning new things.
I do.
In the humanities school, you learn frameworks into how you can think of life and in the reality. So I think that helped me after graduating as well. But once you go into university, you find out that people do studies, but that's not the most important. You do get a whole lot of different experiences, and that's actually a time, this 4 years, for you to go and explore yourself. So other than academic, you might want to spend some time into what are you actually passionate into? What are you passionate about? For me, I want to dig more into gender studies. I want to dig more into the LGBT community, which is why I started Rainbow Bird. But other than that, I also had a lot of fun with in the rowing team. So that's a bit of the sporty side. I joined with HKUST. So that really fulfilled my university life, and I had so much fun. How about you guys?
I think Ray has more on the. I'm basically, I would say I'm the typical person who are more into the academic side.
You did very well though, Adrian. You did very well. By the way, Adrian graduated with first class on, right?
Woohoo!
Yeah, congrats on that. I mean, in UST, really, really tough. I can give you an example. Like I didn't graduate with first class odds. I felt so bad, but it is what it is. Like you just know where you stand in society. And okay, it make me sound like I'm very, but you get my point, right? I mean, you don't have to feel so pressured about grades. Grades are important, but touching on that, like I think a perspective that I really want to bring into is like, I think there's two, but I can combine it to one point that within your capacity, right? I think Andrea and Alexis have touched upon that, but within your capacity, you need to first understand what you like. And if you don't know what you like, there's only one way to do. Put yourself out there and actually experience that thing.
Try new things.
Try new things. Yeah, so that's what I did in university because I honestly don't know what I like, what makes me happy and everything. Of course, sports was something that I really like, but that was not the only thing that I can see myself doing. So I was trying different things.
And I think it could be quite intimidating in the beginning as a high school student going into university. It's a whole new environment, and people you see might be, quite cool, and then they're all very smart. But then be open, go and learn new stuff, meet new people, and eventually you'll find out what you like.
Yeah. So going more on the point, like, okay, you try, it's through trial and error. And I think in university, the cost of trying new things is very low.
Yeah, much lower.
If you, let's say, flunk a course, it's fine. You can do it again the next semester or winter. A lot of people think it's a big deal, but I don't think you should, because at least you have the courage to try that course that you're not good at. Because I think a lot of people in USD will just apply and join waitlists for courses that are easy. But are those courses going to help you a lot? Of course, it'll help you graduate. Yeah, that's important. But yeah, just have the mindset that your grades are important, but not the most important. You just need to pass your courses. Okay, I'm being a bad example here. You need to ace them, but honestly speaking, it's like, as long as you graduate with, second upper, second lower, I think it's good enough. It's the experiences in university.
Yeah, that counts.
Exactly. Yeah. And then by joining those experiences, right? Like you can hear from Alexis, she shared like the people that she met, and Andrian, like he doesn't just mix with local people, and that broadened his horizon to not just think like a local Hong Kong. You have some international perspective. And now Andrian sounds a bit Malaysian, right? When he speaks English, because heavily influenced by me. Maybe not.
I think we all do now.
But I think, because like it leads to the point where, through your experience, you connect with people. Because at the end of the day, like people are the ones that are going to help you. And I think through UST, such a great community there, you would pick a university based on which community would be able to bring the best version of yourself. And what I mean by that is like, there's a saying, right? Like you are the average of your social network. So the people that you mix around with on a daily basis, you are actually the average of them. So if UST is such a great platform, there's a lot of different people that, always want to, number one, everybody wants to do startup. People that want to go investment bank, that's very career side consulting, or people that really want to focus on their passion. So I think in USD, you have a lot of different pockets of people with different things. It's very diverse. And just by being in this and living and breathing, if you're just going through courses and everything, you're missing a big part of a university experience. So I think that's the point that I wanted to bring out to prospective students, whether you're thinking about UST, whether you think about other university, but this is an important mindset to think about. And I didn't know this when I was a freshman. For me, I was just thinking, gotta find, meet pretty girls, get good grades. But it's through that, my trial and error, that slowly it makes sense through the experience.
Yeah, I think I'm very excited for you for the journey that coming ahead of you. But I think speaking of which too, Andrian, do you have any key takeaways you want to share?
Yeah, I was gonna Ray was hogging the mic, so I wanted to I wanted to like wrap up because I know you guys might have another event to attend to. But for my key takeaway is I really think that university time, whichever one you go to, is definitely time for you to build yourself, build who you are, figure who you are as a person or your hobbies, because it's a really great time. I think when I was in secondary school, there are a lot of things that I told you I haven't figured out or I was confused about. I don't know who exactly am I or what sort of hobby might I be interested. So I think uni is definitely, as Ray said, has a low cost. So try out everything and build yourself, find yourself. This is probably the best time you can do it. Yeah.
Just one quick cheesy quote that I, as a student ambassador, is like, yeah, university is really a place for everyone, but everyone's experiences is unique. So create your unique varsity experience.
Yay.
Yay.
And
Sure.
if we have 2 more minutes, I would like to share more about Rainbow Bird, since I think you guys might be here interested in the topic of diversity and inclusion. I would just like to emphasize that Rainbow Bird is a community that welcomes everyone regardless of their sexual orientation. So even if you identify as gay or straight or as an ally or just purely interested in the community, please feel free to join the coming up events. And if you have more questions and you would like to meet more friends, go on Instagram and Facebook and type Rainbow Bird. And if you're interested in the Talk La episodes that they have coming up, how do you find you guys?
You just go on Instagram and find Talk La podcast.
Yeah, they're also on Spotify.
Yep. So that would be the wrap. Do you have any more takeaways, Ray?
I was gonna say, like, hopefully that this half an hour was very well spent. I'm not sure how much you guys are, multitasking and everything. I think it's very common, right? But we really hope that you have some takeaways. And if that takeaway have sort of create an internal spark within you, yeah, probably USC is the right place for you. All right. See you guys.
See you guys. Bye.
See you.
Thanks for attending.
Bye-bye.